good evening. I'm Katie McManus, business strategist and money mindset coach. Welcome to my live, everyone, where I'm talking about going live. It's very meta. Anyway, looks like, oh gosh, Twitter did not connect. Probably are having some issues. Just a little housekeeping. So I am going live to Instagram over here, the Facebooks, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And apparently Twitter is having a whole meltdown and I have an itch in my nose. Anyway, tonight I want to talk through the 3 principles that I follow when I go live. I also want to give you like the background information and the story about like why I decided to go live so often, what it has done for my business, and why it's a tool that I recommend everyone utilize in building your business, in building your personal brand, and in building anything really. Like if you believe something, like go live about it. If you want to teach something, go live. If you want to have impact in the world, like literally you can hop on to any live platform and you can broadcast yourself into the pockets. Sounds so weird. Into the pockets and all the screens of the people who already follow you, who already like you, who already trust in you and believe in you and want to hear what you have to say. It is a magical, magical thing. Could you imagine? Like, I can't imagine a world without this. Right. And I grew up in a world without this. Like, I'm old enough. I'm older than the internet people, older than Google, which completely astounds my niece. Anyway, so when I started my business, let's get right into it, right? And if you have any questions, if you've been thinking about going live and you're a little nervous about it, or you're not sure it's going to work for your business, or you're not sure what you would talk about, please put it in the comments. Sometimes I don't see all the comments from all the places. So if I don't call your comment out, please know it's not you, unless you said something rude or offensive. But I will go back and answer any comments that I see after the fact if I didn't see them during the live. But please, I love these to be interactive. So ask away any comments you have, need further clarification. This is a teaching one. I really want to tell you how I approach this and how I got to the point where it's something that actually helps my business because it is such an incredible tool. Okay. So I'm just going to get comfortable here. So when I started my business, I was just getting over my fear of public speaking. So I was in Toastmasters. I did Own the Room trainings. I was previously terrified of public speaking. Okay. I had some really traumatic events where I had gotten up in front of hundreds of people and absolutely humiliated myself. There's one memory that I have from college where I was voluntold by a retired professor to read a letter at a literary luncheon. That's right, literary meaning lots of authors of books were there. And I was just meant to read a letter. Simple, right? No. I stuttered and stammered and sweated and misspoke through this letter. It was the most painful 4-5 minutes of my life. I was so bad that after all the speaking was done, people came up to me to apologize to me for how bad I was. Okay. That is what we're talking about. I was so afraid of public speaking. I put a lot of work into getting over this fear, right? So Toastmasters, if you're not familiar, if you're afraid of public speaking, it is an incredible organization. There's a whole curriculum that you follow. It's voluntary. Like you can, volunteer to do a speech or not. There are games to kind of get you in the mood. And of course, like everyone who's in these groups are there to get better at public speaking. So it's an incredibly supportive environment. Likewise, I was like, okay, cool. I need to get comfortable in front of people, but I also need to learn the mechanics of speaking. Like I know how to speak. I know how to like use words and they come out of my face hole. And that's one thing, but I needed to know like, how to use tone, how to use speed, how do you use your hands? Like there's stuff that really incredible speakers do that you notice, but you're not quite sure how they're doing it. And so I went through this intensive 4-day training through On the Room, which is the training was incredible. Fun fact, I actually applied to work for them and they turned me down early on in my coaching business. Anyway, story for another day. So did all this work, got over my fear of public speaking. I mean, let's be real. I still get nervous before I speak publicly, but it's not like I'm going to vomit and like go and hide in the closet kind of fear. Okay. But so then the pandemic hit, right? And like I had built a whole strategy for my business around me going and like speaking at events and running workshops and doing all this stuff. And that wasn't going to happen anymore. And so I realized with the help of my coach and with the help of my little support mastermind group that if I was going to get out there, if I was going to get in front of people, I really needed to get in front of them in the only way I could. And that was going live. The difference between going live and speaking publicly to a group is that when you're live, you don't have an audience. Like right now, I'm going live because StreamYard doesn't really read metrics. I actually don't know if there's anyone in the audience on the Facebooks, on LinkedIn, or on YouTube. Usually there are. Usually people like, even if it says 0 with the little eyeball, it always says 0, even when people are commenting. So, it's just a mystery. And then of course on Instagram, I don't have a very active following on Instagram. So I don't have anyone here yet. Right. But like, here I am. I know this is being broadcast. I'm about to make myself very nervous just acknowledging this to myself. I'm broadcasting this live knowing that this video is going to be shared in perpetuity for the rest of all eternity onto the interwebs, right? That takes and I want to say this and I'm like, oh God, like you're going to sound like you're patting your own back, but why not? Hi, the gazelle, welcome. But that takes a lot of comfort. And you can't get that level of comfort overnight. It's something that you have to build. Justin, we're here to support you. Thank you. I appreciate that through my self-imposed discomfort. I appreciate that, Justin. But anyway, so I decided I needed to go live. But the thing about lives, like I said, you don't know if anyone's watching. And if they are watching, you have no way of gauging if what you're saying is interesting, or if what you're saying is pleasing, or if what you're saying is educating, or if what you're saying is pissing people off. You just don't know. And for someone who has ADHD, who's always scanning the room, who's always reading other people so that I can adjust and mirror, that is incredibly nerve-wracking. And so when I first started going live, I decided to go live in a safe space. Hi. I went live to my Facebook channel to a bunch of people on Facebook. It was not actually the most safe space ultimately, because I would go live and like guys that I'd been on dates with would watch and they'd comment and I would get incredibly awkward and uncomfortable. And just imagining these guys who had like been on several dates with watching me go live and completely bomb it. Right? Just not do it well at all. So I continued to like practice and practice and practice. And then I finally branched out to doing LinkedIn. I applied for LinkedIn Live back when you had to apply for it. Now you can do it. Like if you turn creator mode on your account, you can go live on LinkedIn. So I started doing that. And I started really figuring out like what worked for me. I know a lot of other live streamers, they find it's helpful to have a person on there with you. So interviewing or having conversations. I do this from time to time, but I actually really love speaking into the camera and talking directly to my humans. And what was incredible is after a while, after I kind of like found my groove with it, I would get on sales calls, with prospective clients, and I'd be talking to them and they would literally quote me back to me. And there were more than a few times where someone said that they had binged my entire every single live stream I'd ever done. At that point, I think there was only like 80 of them, but still like 80 of them, that's like a long Netflix series, right? That is like multiple seasons of a Netflix series. That's like Suits on Netflix. Okay. That's a lot because I was live for a fairly long time. Right. Um, and it, it was just incredible, like the impact it had. And here's what I found it actually does for your business. So when we're building our business, I think we all feel fairly safe posting static posts, written posts onto social media and letting people get to know us and how what we do for work that way. If you're not comfortable with that, then I urge you to start, because people cannot give you their money unless they know what you do. Okay. If they don't know what you do, they cannot give you their money for doing that thing. Hold on, I just want to see what Justin said. Dr. Seuss said it best. Be who you are, blah, blah, blah. Be who you are and say what you feel. For those who mind, don't matter, and those who matter don't mind. I love that thing. That's one of my favorite ones. I pause watching Suits to watch your life. Oh my God, I'm obsessed. I'm actually like mid watching it right now. I'm on season 4, so don't tell me anything. I mean, you can tell me stuff. I probably won't. I won't remember. But anyway, um, so people will encounter you online. They're going to see your stuff, and they will, get a little educated about how you're useful to them. But most people will not buy or will not book a sales call based off of just seeing a post, right? They're going to have to need to experience you in a low stress environment so that they can get to know you better, so that they can build that trust and get that camaraderie and kind of understand like you are who you seem you are in your written stuff. By the way, this is why I urge you to be writing your own content as you're getting up and running, unless you have an incredibly gifted ghostwriter who can really capture your voice and tell your stories. Um, you're like, it's one of the easiest ways to break trust with someone when they get on a sales call with you is to not sound the way you write for social media, right? We all read social media posts as if we're talking to a friend. Could you imagine if that friend like had automatron, like very formal language, and here's how I, automate blah, 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 blah. I can't even think of formal language. It's so separate from me. They get on the phone with you and that's not who you are. It doesn't work. It's a great way to break trust. Anyway, so going live is a beautiful way to break through that and let people kind of see who you are, because when you go live, you can screw up. I've stumbled over my words like 7 times already in this live, right? I just kind of roll past it, right? But it happened. I'm a human who is fallible and can make mistakes. And, that really does give people a sense of comfort that like, okay, this person can make mistakes and they help people like me do the thing. Then I'm actually allowed to be imperfect when I work with them, right? It also just gives people like a sense of what your sense of humor is. What would you be like to talk to? All really helpful things when you are building a personal brand and when you are wanting to get clients from online. Anyway, so I want to go through my top 3 principles that I stick to. And I really didn't realize I was sticking to these principles until I really thought about it today before this live. What are the things that I do that I find work in me doing live as part of my marketing strategy? And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, it's not just 3, there's a 4th one, and that'll just be your bonus for watching further. Let me see. Before I get in, I want to read what Justin's saying. My mom used to tell me, son, you can't cuss in business. And I'm like, why the fuck not? I'd rather have someone who's honest and cusses versus someone who has a clean mouth but a dirty heart. Yes. It's funny. So, Justin, when I first started going live and like posting on social media, my aunts who live in California, they're kind of, they're proper. They would reach out to me and be like, I don't know if you realize, but you swore, you said shit, or you said crap, or you said the F word. Like, do you want to do that? And I made this point that like, I don't want to attract people who will be scandalized by the fact that I swear, right? Because I swear, it happens. Like, I find I trust people more when they swear, and they swear appropriately, not when they like swear to shock. When they swear for accuracy. And yeah, I mean, like, it's just, I'm not going to hide who I am. Let me see. Personal voice in post is so important. It really is. I mean, I wish there was a way to like video, like someone reading a post, getting on a sales call, hearing this completely different voice and like record that inner monologue of like, who the hell is this person? This isn't who I wanted to get on the phone with. I wanted to get on the phone with someone else, the person who wrote that post. Yes. Anyway, okay. So we have 3 principles plus a bonus one. So stick with me. So the number 1 principle is let it go wrong. Let it go terribly, terribly wrong. All right. Some of my, hi, Winston. Oh, hi, Josh. I didn't recognize your thing. Hi, Josh. Winston, that sounds so proper. So if you're going live, let things go wrong. They're gonna go wrong. Okay. You are going, if you have too stringent of a plan, you're gonna have someone who's fun in the comments, like Justin, who, is adding to the conversation. And like, if you're too, like dedicated to your talking points, then you're not going to be able to integrate that in there, right? It's not going to happen. Also, like if you are going off script, this happens to me all the time. Okay. I start telling a story and I'm like telling the story and I'm really into it. And I'm like getting towards the end of the story. And I'm like, guys, I completely forgot the point. I forgot like why I'm telling you the story. Like I remember the end of the story, obviously, but like what was the point? And then the whole chat sometimes erupts in like this scavenger hunt of like, what the fuck was Katie gonna say? And then we just kind of like jive with that. You're gonna stumble, you're gonna stutter, you're gonna trip over your words, you're gonna go blank. There are gonna be moments where you're like, oh my God, it's just there's nothing. And like you get to recover from that. I find if you're really nervous about making mistakes and you're really concerned with looking stupid, I urge you to go and take some improv classes. Okay. Improv classes. I should have mentioned that when I was getting over my fear of public speaking. That was another thing that I did. That was an absolute game changer for me. Right. Because like in improv, you look stupid all the time. And it's the point, right? It's the point to look stupid. And making mistakes, like you just bounce off them. Right. I mean, SNL, like if you're in the United States, I'm sure you've seen SNL. If you're outside the United States, I'm sure you've seen some clip that is SNL. Like the funniest SNL clips are when they break character and like they can't help but like start to laugh and they're like trying to hold it in and like stay in character, right? It goes terribly wrong, but it actually makes it better, right? So let things go wrong, okay? Let me see. Justin, ditch the slideshow and be human. Showing your humanness in business will gain trust and clients more than always being Harvey Specter. Yeah. I mean, Harvey Specter, I think he has some other things going for him, if you know what I mean. Right. I would hire him. Anyway, that sounded so creepy. Anyway, but totally true. I want to remind you when we're looking for people to hire, to be in business with, we're not going to the interwebs, to the Google machine and typing in like, who's the most bland, boring, straightforward, not interesting version of a business strategist or a copywriter. No, we're going out into the world and we're observing people and we're looking them up and we're seeing like what personality shines through their social media and their marketing. And if we like that personality, then we follow them. And, if in following them, we really, really, build trust with them, then we might add ourselves to their newsletter. We might go to a webinar. We might see a live that they did. And there might be something that we're just like that thing that they said. That is why I need to hire this person. And that's when they hop on a call with you. You can't do that through a slideshow, to Justin's point. Your personality comes through when you are on camera. Okay. Like you wouldn't be able to get the same Katie McManus experience right now through a slideshow, especially my slideshows. My slideshows suck because I'm not that good graphically. Anyway, let me see, Justin, Mama's Family, Siamese elephant skit, best improv ever. Oh my God, I haven't seen that. Oh gosh. Okay. I'm going to have to go and Google that afterwards. My all-time favorite were the two Betty White, where she's talking about her muffin. It's like the NPR interview, and it's, oh my God, it's just so funny. And then the same kind of segment, but with Alec Baldwin, and he's talking about his sweaty balls. So funny. There was like a cooking segment, and they're talking. It's comedic gold. So good. I don't know if they screwed up. I think that's besides the point of the point I was making, but those are my two favorite skits on SNL. Anyway, go watch them. Not right now. Stay with me right now, and then go watch them afterwards. And if you forget them, just DM me and I will tell you. Okay, so you are letting everything go wrong. You are just letting the shit hit the fan. You're rolling with it. It's all great. And worst case scenario, you end. You're just like, this is going badly. I'm going to stop. I have done this before. If I've had lives where just stuff was going wrong, and I was like, guys, I got to level with you. This is just not fun for me right now. So I'm going to end this right here. And people respect that. They respect you honoring your own energy. Okay. Number 2, I know I already kind of touched on this, but it can't be said enough. Ditch the script. Ditch the script. Okay. You are an expert. You are an expert in whatever it is that you are doing for your job, for your business, right? If you're not an expert, you should be doing it. But here's what I want you to remember is like, people are there to experience you. They're there to hear you speak. So I want you to imagine you're sitting at coffee with some of your best friends who are just really curious about what you have to say about what you do. And they're there and they're just kind of like sitting there and they're like, drinking their little iced coffee. I'm going to pretend this is a little iced coffee. Hello. Like, tell me more. I want you to imagine, like, how weird would it be if your best friends were there, watching you and asking all these questions about your business. If you were to be like, well, here is the script and like, oh gosh, like, what's this? And blah, 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 blah. It would go odd. It would go oddly. I can't really show you this because I have like client notes on here and I don't want to violate any confidentiality, but literally my notes, I'm going to do a little, my notes for the live fit into this. Like literally my notes for this live are this big. It's medium-sized writing. It literally says, let it go wrong, ditch the script, and get vulnerable. Those are the only notes that I have for this live today. It takes practice. It takes practice. And to the point, like, you're going to be bad at this. You're going to suck. You're going to suck. You're going to get it wrong. You're going to forget things. You're going to like go down weird rabbit holes. It's all going to happen. But over time, you are going to get more confident. Over time, you are going to learn like how to flow from one thing to the next, how to balance speaking to the people in the comments, how to like stick to your agenda, for lack of a better word. You're also going to learn when to throw it out, right? You're going to learn how to read the audience that you can't see and understand what it is that they need from you. Okay. But the script is never going to help you do that. A script is never going to get you to that comfort level. If you do need to like create an outline for yourself, if you have like a really complicated thing that you want to do, I will say this, complicated things on lives. I've done them. I've done them when I was like first, getting up and running. They don't go well. like people get lost, they get confused because I want you to imagine, I want you to just like picture, how are you watching this live right now? You're probably not sitting like watching me on screen. I mean, I would love it if you did. Like I did my makeup for you guys and everything. I put earrings in, like my hair has a braid in it today. But honestly, you're probably watching this like with this off to the side. You might be like cooking dinner or brushing your teeth or, like folding laundry. You're probably not looking. And because you're probably not looking and there's other stuff happening in your life, in your world, you might not be completely tuned into what I'm talking about. So if I'm going over something that's way too complicated, that requires a whole outline for me to even remember what I'm saying, how are you going to remember what I'm saying? Like, how are you going to take anything useful if what I'm talking about is that complicated? Okay. So if I haven't convinced you yet, I hope that convinced you. Ditch the script. Okay. And just back to the first point, like let yourself be awkward. Okay. Oh my God, I just scared myself. I was gonna knock this over. You know, we all love all those videos of like the baby elephants that are like chasing the ducks around and then they slip and fall, right? And you're like, oh, I hope they're fine. And they're fine, but they like get embarrassed and they go back to mom. Baby giraffes with their like long spindly legs and they like can't really walk that well. And then until their mom kicks them and makes them walk. Because that's what mama giraffes do when they have their babies. They kick them until they walk. It's not very nice. We love awkward is my point. We are here for the awkward, okay? When we see other humans out there brave enough to let themselves be publicly awkward, we're there for it. So let yourself be awkward. Let yourself be awkward without a script, okay? Let yourself be awkward as you're getting better, okay? And worst case scenario, pick a time to go live when no one usually watches. That's fine. As you're practicing, as you're getting better at it, that is totally okay. Okay. If you end up doing an incredible live, then you can save it. And if it ends up really royally sucking, you can delete it. Okay. Full permission there. Lastly, I know this one is hard for everyone because it's like, okay, well, how vulnerable is too vulnerable? But I want to remind you, you get to decide that, but you really do have to get vulnerable. You have to share a little bit about yourself. You have to let people in. You have to let them see who you are as a human. All right. Now, I'm very comfortable getting vulnerable. I have shared everything from like being an egg donor, escaping an abusive relationship, having breast reduction surgery. Like, I'm very comfortable sharing I have a hair in my mouth. Anyway, I'm very comfortable sharing all parts of my life on social media. I make it into a business point when I do, right? I like tie it back. I find a way to like make it funny. Like for fuck's sake, like my post today was about how building a business around only getting referrals is basically like using the pull-out method for your birth control. I'm very comfortable going there, right? You don't have to go there. Okay. Your vulnerable can look like, this is what I did this weekend. Your vulnerable can be like, this is my favorite pair of socks. This is my favorite pair of socks. They're my favorite brand. This is why I like them. This is what I don't like about other socks. I want you to remember, okay, here's what I want you to think about. When we were kids and we had a new friend come over, like they came over to our house for a play date, what was the first thing you did? When they like walk in the door and they say hi and they like maybe put their backpack down, take their shoes off. You're like, you're not like, Timmy, let me like, how was your day? What are you doing? Blah, 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 blah. You don't do the small talk thing. No, you're like, Timmy, come to my room. I want to show you all my stuff. Right. And then you take them to your room and you're like, here's my Barbie poster and here's my Hulk poster. And this is my Raggedy Ann doll. And these are my Pokemon cards. And this is this and this is this. And you just show them like, these are all the things that I like and that I care about. And this is who I am. We get to do that as adults too. It's so much fun. And here's the thing, when it comes to you building your business, letting people get to know you, it makes it so much easier for people who are interested in working with you to start a low pressure conversation with you if they have something in common with you. Okay. It is magic when someone, like I am a huge Harry Potter nerd. I have a Harry Potter tattoo. I get messages all the time about my Harry Potter tattoo, right? I get messages all the time about my sheepadoodle, Luna, right? Who's named after a Harry Potter character, now that I think, but I wasn't even going to go there. But I get messages all the time about that turn into, I think I might want to work with you, right? Now, those people usually are not going to be that comfortable just messaging me, I think I want to work with you. No, like they want to warm it up. They want to have an actual interaction with me and make sure I am who I say I am, right? How would they think of something to say to get that ice broken? That was a weird way of saying that, of breaking that ice, if I didn't give them like some details about myself, right? You get to do the same, but you get to decide how vulnerable you want to get. All right. It's 100% up to you. By the way, if you want to learn how to decide what to share, how to leverage your own personal stories to get high paying clients, I am doing a training on that this Saturday. I've been very bad about promoting it. I was actually supposed to do it on Wednesday, but Wednesday afternoon, I got this massive headache and had to reschedule. Yeah, anyway, but it is happening this Saturday. And I would love for you to come. If you want to come, then shoot me a DM and I will send you the link to join. So far, the 3 principles, we have a bonus still, so stick with me. Let it go wrong. Let it go wrong. Number 2, ditch the script. It'll never serve you. And number 3, get vulnerable. Share about yourself. Now, number 4 is the bonus one that I didn't think of while I was writing the description for this live, but I thought of it while I was like going through it. So here we are. Get consistent. Consistency is key. First and foremost, like if you're new at it and you suck, the only way to get better is to consistently practice. That's the only way you're going to get better. Okay. So be consistent with it. You can do it once a week. You can do it the way I did it, which was I went live every day for about a month, multiple times. It's up to you. 100% up to you. But be consistent with it. It really does help build trust with your audience. It helps you get better. And you will get more comfortable with it as you go. That's all I've got, guys. We're 32 minutes. So thank you all for hanging with me. Justin, thank you so much for all of your contributions today. I'm going to go and be looking up your SNL Siamese elephant skit. Really looking forward to that. Josh and the Gazelle, thank you for joining on Instagram. I hope you all have an amazing rest of your week. Tomorrow's Friday. Thank God. And I hope to be going live with you tomorrow, but we will see. But reminder, if you do want to come to that training, I am hosting on Saturday. Just shoot me a DM. Anyway, thank you all. I'm Katie McManus, business strategist and money mindset coach. Have a great night. Bye.